Sup? This is Greggatron. How are y'all? One question. Do you like my shirt? Yeah. This is Captain Marvel from the movie. My mom got me this shirt a few Christmases ago. It looks small. I think it's a large. It should be extra large, but it is what it is. No, they're not pajamas. So this is a special video, a special shout out video to my boy Joel Friday TV. I call him the Joel Friday TV Report Show Podcast Experience. Yeah. That is right. So congratulations from Greggatron. So my boy here, he had his 300th episode today. If you don't know who Joel Friday TV is, aka the Joel Showell, if you don't know who that is, this dude, he's about a year older than I am, but he's on the Bond Network. And he's got his own show, and every show is an hour long, but it has such substance. It's got good stuff. Everything from spiritual stuff to relationship stuff to working with people stuff. And when I say relationships, it's not just about dating. He talks about the interaction between people, how people treat other people. He's good with that. But yes, he is good when it comes to that dating thing. He's like the relationship doctor when it comes to the Bond Network. And if you don't know what Bond is, that's the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. That's Jesse Lee Peterson's network. So shout out to the network, but I ain't gonna lie, Joel has dropped some gems over the years. First of all, 300 episodes, that's really good. I mean, where'd the time even go? Because Joel used to be the soundboard operator. And then he left and came back, started his own show. It was like, wow, 300 episodes, huh? That's 300 hours of footage. And then you got your little clips and your smaller videos, but still, that's good. Because when you first started, it was an hour a week. Like every Tuesday or something like that. And then it went up to 2 or 3 days. Now it's 4 days a week. So that's good stuff, man. Shout out to you for that. But there was something else I was going to say. Oh, I was saying how he drops gems. I think the gem I remember the most, by gem I mean just spot on, magnificent thing that sticks with me. He said it was either last Valentine's Day or the one before that. He had, and I'm quoting, no, I'm paraphrasing. So don't copyright me. Or this is not slander. I'm paraphrasing. He said something like he would never want to date a woman who is not working on herself. So he's like, if he is talking to this woman, right, and he sees her potentially as someone who, he could be seeing, he said once he finds out she's not dating on herself, I can't talk. Once he finds out she's not working on herself, she's not worth dating. I was like, huh. And then he's like, and that's the same thing goes for women. if women get with a man and this man she finds out he's not working on himself, she shouldn't be dating him either. I'm like, that is so deep. Well, think about it. There's truth to that. Because if you're working on yourself, but your spouse is not, you're pretty much in this alone. And the advice he's giving, it can go for people who are married or not married, but he's young, he's in his 30s. So it appears that the advice he's giving is for like young people. It doesn't just apply to young people. But what he's saying rings true to me as a young person. So let's stick with this working on yourself thing, right? If I'm working on myself, and if I'm talking to a woman who's not, I'm pretty much in this alone. She'll be in the dark, and she won't have a clue as to what's going on. So that's why I like that phrase or quote, whatever you want to call it. That's why I like that so much, because it really works for all parties, whether it be dating, families, co-workers. Like if you're trying to do better, but the other people around you, they're not, you have no business being around those people, quote unquote. Now, like, if you work together, what choice do you have? But as far as the personal aspect, if you're trying to do better, but the people around you are not, you should not be around those people. And I've already heard before similar things like, you are who you hang out with. If you run around with idiots, you will then become an idiot. So that kind of trickles into the relationship thing. Because think about it. If your girlfriend or the girl they say talking to now, they still say that. If she's not working on herself, essentially, she's just going to pull you in to the same hell she's in. But if you're working on yourself, you'll be able to see that. But it'll be harder for her to do that if you're not working on yourself. So it helps that, yeah, you're working on yourself. By working on yourself, he just means you're being more aware. You're waking up to the truth. So the hell in her will pretty much not recognize the heaven in you. So that's why that phrase rings so true as to if she's waking up, if she wants to do better, if she's working on herself, that's kind of like half the battle. Because now you're both aware of what's going on. So that's just one example of a gem. Like the Anchor Baby once said, we should be the light wherever we go. That's considered a gem to me. Because I can use that in my personal life. So these guys, they do drop these gems. And I might talk about that one in a different video. I don't want this to be too long. It's good stuff. It's refreshing to hear golden stuff. By golden stuff, I mean gems. Good, clean, golden stuff from young men. Not using profanity. Not being all rated R and whatnot. It's just refreshing to see someone like Joel do his thing. But he really does bring light to what's going on around him. Like when you're listening to Joel, it's like you're listening to somebody who you know personally, like you're talking to a friend. And you can kind of feel that when you get the phone calls on the show. Because some of his friends do call the show. I think Zenny is one. And this guy named Serge. They kind of sound like his friends. But in many cases, when these guys get these calls, they're not just talking to the person on the phone. They're talking to the audience. Because everybody kind of has the same problems, right? The same stuff, same type of things going on. So Joel can be having a conversation with a caller, but what they're saying rings true to my life in some cases. So half the time, let's say you do want to call in, half the time you don't need to call in because someone's already answering your question for you. Today's show was fun. They did like a game night. They did like a Bible trivia and some other game when you rhyme a sentence, the last word of the sentence, the next person has to rhyme that word with another word, but that was fun. But Joel, he's really doing it, man. Like, this dude should have way more subscribers. And here's the thing about subscribers, right? Joel's on different platforms, multiple platforms. So yeah, he does have more subscribers than it shows. Because if you're looking at YouTube, you're just looking at YouTube. But he might have double the amount of subscribers on a different network, a different streaming service, whatever you want to call it. You got YouTube going on, you got Rumble, you got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's X now, but still, even YouTube alone, you should have way more subscribers. Like, that's why I'm promoting you on my end, because especially young people, man. Young people need to hear this stuff. And before I forget, what I like about Joel's show, women can listen to the Joel show and be perfectly comfortable, just as comfortable as the men. It's not just for men only. It can be geared towards whoever wants to listen to it. But it's dope, man. The Joel Friday TV Report podcast show experience. But yeah, shout out from Greggatron. And I could talk longer, but man, y'all ain't got time to be listening to all this. That was just on my mind because I listened to the show today when I was at work, and it was funny. Good stuff. Good stuff with Derek. Good stuff with Hake. The Hake Report. It's just good stuff, man. You guys help my life tremendously. That's a fact. That is a fact. That's why I don't mind sending super chats, because I've been helped. Amen. Oh, let me say this. So he'll have different types of shows, different themes. Like Monday is Grace and Mercy Monday. I think Tuesday might be True Crime Tuesday. So Grace and Mercy Monday, he's talking about that word. He's getting into the word, the good book. True Crime Tuesday, I believe it is. He's talking about like Law and Order, different news articles. It's like forensic files. Like Joel is doing detective work. He's using his deductive reasoning skills. And then I think Wednesday might be Relationship Wednesdays. And then Thursday is a different one. Me personally, I like the show better when it was just random, when we didn't know what the show is about. But it's your show. It's all good. So yeah, if you're gonna watch the show, look forward to that. There's a theme. Alright. And you guys can call into the show and ask questions. And any questions, comments, or concerns, he'll address it. But it's dope. It is dope. With that said, congratulations. I'll be listening. And peace.